everybody, I am Husky Light. Thank you for stopping by. This is probably going to be maybe one of the most important videos I've done. It is to me anyway. I'm going to try and explain as clearly as I can about your synchronicities and your 1111s, etc., your signs, and how not only are they positive, but as you go along the journey, you'll find that they're also negative as well, and giving you a forewarning or a foreshadowing of things that are about to, impending things that can be about to happen to you or are happening to you. This usually, when you go through a difficult time, when you go through what I would probably call a psychic attack, or your tower falling, where things around you are completely falling, try and be as clear as possible, stay as calm as possible as you can during these times, and emotionally and physically and psychologically balanced as you can, knowing that it's all happening for a reason. But until it actually happens to you, you're probably not all that aware of it. Now, I've learned with my synchronicities along the way that if I get a cluster of synchronicity, because I can go, you know, days or weeks without really anything happening, and then suddenly there'll be a cluster of signs and synchronicities. This is usually a foreshadowing of something that's coming around that's important, usually within about 48 hours of it happening, within, or a week, up to a week within, when you're seeing things. And it's usually because you are going through some sort of change. Now I'm going to go through sort of personally, because I do this as a blog as well. It's not just for you, it's for me as well. Usually when you go through a change, through a spiritual enlightenment, you are learning new things that you're taking in, then you'll get a cluster. And you can be doing this subconsciously as well. You don't have to be physically doing it. It could be a step up the ladder spiritually, subconsciously, that you're not really aware of. Maybe you dealt with a situation in a different way than you had done before, doing something really well, taking more of responsibility for your own feelings and your own actions. That's a step up spiritually along your path. But, you know, subconsciously sometimes you're doing that and not realising it. So I've had about 2 weeks now of a spiritual growth, a spiritual expansion, where I have been led through synchronicities, through to new information, new things to learn about myself, about spirituality, about the real world out there, not the world that we're told. And this has led to an expansion. So, but because of this expansion that has happened, I've also been tested. I've also had the dark step in and say, whoa, hang on a minute, she's getting a little bit too high now, she's getting to know too much. I call it the darkness. Lots, you know, there's all different names for it, matrix agents and Illuminati and darker magic and all sorts of different names for it depending on who you are. I just call it the darker side of things. If you get to a certain point, if you're suddenly having a spiritual growth spurt in one way or another, then they will step in and try and put you down again. They will come in as a test, try and put you down again, see how strong you are spiritually, see if you're going to crumble. Bring situations into you to see how you handle them, and how good you are at it. And if they can dumb you down again because you're going a little bit too high, they will do. It's our job as on this journey to recognise that. I've just left that last little bit where the dog went off and won. I've just left that in deliberately. I had to stop the video because It's a really good example of when you're trying to get out something important, some sort of important information that is my job to do. Is to help others awaken and help with the process if you're not understanding it. How things can come in and try and stop you. That was Puppy barking. She's got a right bark on her, as you know. The postman just came. And I stopped it before that because my dogs came in, and you'll start getting it when you're trying to get something important out. You'll start getting lots of interruptions if it's what you're meant to be doing, if it's that important. So you have to also be aware of that. That's something that I became aware of at the beginning when I used to do a lot of videos when I first woke up, going through the awakening process. So anyway, I hope I can get all of this out in a logical way. If you've got questions, put them below. So we get clusters of synchronicities, usually warning us, letting us know that something good, really, really good is about to happen, or something is coming around that's really bad. Now, I've had this expansion of awareness, and to be honest, as I was going through it and learning it, and I'll go through it in another video, what I've learned, I wasn't coping with it very well. I had an oh shit moment. I was like, oh shit, I can't cope with this. This is too much for me. This is proper woo work. I'm not dealing with this very well. But then, through synchronicities again, I was actually led to getting support and help with what I was learning, which I've managed to get my head round, which has helped me to calm down, which has helped me to integrate the information, to understand it, and come to accept it without any fear. And because I was going through a bit of fear, it's helped me to release the fear, let go of that fear. And by doing that, I've had this spiritual growth spurt. So then in comes the darkness, going, no, we need to test you now. Now, I'd already sort of been forewarned that this was going to happen. I had a message from my guides and angels, and I've had it for quite a while, that 10 was the key. And I've been trying to figure it out for ages, couldn't figure it out. But I always figure that the answers always come through to you. They always come through, and you always get your revelations. You always get your insights when in divine timing, when the timing is right. So 10 is the key. I was sort of warned by that was a spiritual marker, that would maybe lead to me being tested. But I didn't know what 10 was. I think I know what it is now. I actually said it in a video the other day. I'd reached 10,000 subscribers. I've just turned 46, which is a 10 in the 10th month, which is October. And at the moment, I'm putting it down that 10 is the key to that. It's also connected to some other things that I've come up with, but that's the main one as a personal on a personal note. So the past few days, especially the past 3 days, I've had my tower moment where the darkness has come in and said, no, you're getting too high, come down. But while that has been happening, I've been getting loads of synchronicities through and loads of support from my guides and angels. And I had confirmation of that last night by being led to a certain website and going, oh my God, that's what I'm going through, that's what's happening. And when I learn stuff, when I spiritually grow, that's when I have to pass it on, and I have to help you to understand as well in the best way that I can do. So I've learned so much in the past week or so. But let me go into the past couple of... I've had the past 3 3 days have been horrendous, horrible. I've had the tests, I've had the everything, whatever's gone wrong has gone wrong in my life. Everything's just suddenly fallen down. In fact, probably started as a foreshadowing about a week ago. The second I hit 10,000 subscribers, I then got this intruder alert where somebody else is stealing my videos. That was probably the start of it, the start of the test. How am I going to deal with that? Am I going to go off on one, get angry, put this other person down? Well, I didn't. As you've seen from my other, I've not put her down, I've not said anything. She's still up there, the videos are still up there. I'm going to have to go through them individually and report each one for copyright individually. So first of all, there was that. Then yesterday, the night before last, I've got a sick puppy. Puppy's throwing up and has diarrhea all through the night for the past 2 nights. She's asleep now. She's going to the vets this afternoon, and I'm sure everything will be absolutely fine. And as a confirmation of that, since I got up this morning and decided, after everything that I've learned and everything I know, I'm going to do this video and get my information out and get my help out, hopefully, to you. I'm seeing 1111 everywhere again. And I'm seeing confirmation and in signs and synchronicities that yes, everything's now calming down, everything is good, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm on the right path. I'm going in the direction that I need to go in. When I turned on my channel this morning, I've got 10,111 subscribers. So I've got the 111, and then I'm looking at the clock and it's 11:11, and I've got all my good synchronicities are now coming back in today, which is yay, thank you, which is really good. Yesterday, so we find out puppy's ill, and then yesterday morning I woke up and the whole internet and the telephone had gone down, so I couldn't do any videos. Bless him, my son's responsible for paying for that side of things, and he hadn't. So it ended up that it was just a complete farce yesterday. We couldn't telephone the telephone company to say that we wanted to get it back up again and pay because the telephone was down, and I had to drive out and find a Wi-Fi spot outside McDonald's in order to get the phone and the computer working, so my iPad working, so I could transfer money over to sort out the bill and get us up and running again, which took a few hours to do. And also other things that went wrong in between. While all this is happening, though, and the couple of days and sort of the days leading up to it, I was getting synchronicities through warning me that this was going to happen, that this test was coming around from my guides and angels, but I wasn't aware enough, I wasn't noticing them so much. When you concentrate on 11:11 and everything's good, things are going well, you get in the car, you put on the radio, you've got your favourite songs coming on, everything's happy, everybody's smiling at you, you see white feathers around you, you're seeing pennies on the floor, you're getting the signs and synchronicities that you're on the right path and everything's good. When you're getting the other synchronicities through, it's that I haven't noticed them before, but I've noticed them this time. I've become, in fact, I was led to a website last night which explained to me perfectly. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. Expansion has happened. So these clusters of synchronicities that happen to you, they're going to happen when something really good is going on in your life, the 1111s, but also when you've got a test coming up or something's coming through, you've got things in your life that are going to go wrong. And that's also a warning, and they happen during it happening as well. So with everything that's happened, I I'll go through some of the synchronicities and the signs that I've seen, that I've written down, that I know of, just before and during the bad stuff happening, which was warning me, which was my guides and angels coming through and say, hey, look, something's up, something's happening. When I first became, obviously we had the intruder with the 10,000 subscribers, then we got Puppy getting sick and everything else. The first indication I had that something was wrong or something was coming was I was cleaning the kitchen and I dropped a glass milk bottle and it just smashed to smithereens all over the floor. I have not done that in a long time. Everything's been plodding along quite happily. Soon as that happened, I thought something's wrong. And the meaning, the spiritual meaning behind smashing glass or dropping something is usually stop what you're doing, something's happening. Or somebody's not well around you, or something's going on, or something's about to happen. So that was the first indication, which I knew I picked up on that one straight away. So I emailed my twin flame and said, are you okay? Because I've just dropped a glass bottle. And he came back and said, no, I'm absolutely full of a cold and I'm not well. And he's panicking, he's got money worries and panicking. And I said, right, okay, that's fine. That must be what it is. No, it wasn't. That was just part of it. But I sort of thought, oh, okay, that's what it is. Then Puppy starts being ill and everything else starts to happen. Before Puppy was ill, one of my subscribers put in one of the comments during the week that her puppy was ill as well. And of course, I didn't pick up on it at the time. I read the comment. I thought, oh, I'm so sorry for you. I didn't pick up that it was a forewarning that my puppy was going to get ill. This is why you have to stay in the moment and be very aware of what you're seeing around you, what numbers are coming up, what your comments, what comments people are making to you in the outside world, what you're seeing on the front of magazines, all that sort of thing. Be very, very aware of it. Those are your signs and synchronicities that something's coming on, something's going to happen, good or bad. The last video I watched before I went to sleep, before the internet went down, they actually said during that video, sick dog. Again, I didn't pick up on it, but that was guides and angels telling me, sick dog alert. There'd be, dog's going to be ill. When the internet went down and I had to go and sort all that out, and I had to swap money from one account to the other, and get hold of the telephone company, I swapped so much money over to another of my accounts, enough to cover the payment. And when I looked at it, it was £41.41. And then I thought, I'm seeing 4s and 1s everywhere. I was seeing it on receipts at the shop. I'd been seeing it as on the clock, like 1414, things like that. Combinations of 4s and 1s. When you see combinations of 4s and 1s, it's not usually that is a foreshadowing, that is a forewarning, that is different from your 1111s, which are good things. The 4s and the 1s, personally to me, and I think to a lot of other people, because I've found out since, is a foreshadowing that something is going to happen, something is not good. Another synchronicity sign that I saw over the past few days, I heard a lot of emergency sirens, police cars, ambulances, fire engines. In fact, yesterday, a fire engine drove past my house, and just as I'd got to the window, so it was a deliberate, there, look at that, to see it. So there's the bottle smashing, there's the 4s and the 1s, there's the sirens. My next door neighbour decided to come out and have a really good vocal argument with her mother, I think, in the middle of the street a couple of nights ago, which I think the whole street heard it. It wasn't just me. That was another forewarning of impending something's happening. Be aware of things. Also, over the last few days, you know that ringing tone that you get in your ear? You either get it in your right ear or your left ear. It's like a very, very high-pitched tone. It's like I always take it as some sort of communication or download from my guides and angels. I kept getting that ringing sound, that high-pitched tone, quite loud in my left ear over the past few days. And I've come to realise that there is a difference between when it's in your left ear and when it's in your right ear. If you are getting that tone in your right ear, as you're talking to someone, as you're doing something, as you're thinking of something, stop and say to yourself, right, what am I thinking at this moment? What's going on at this moment? It's a positive sign. It's telling you that you're on the right path. It's telling you that your thoughts are good, that your ideas are good, and it's positive. On the other hand, though, if you start hearing it in your left ear, again, stop and think, okay, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What's going on at this moment in time within my life? Because it's a negative warning. It's a warning of things you're not on the right path, or things are coming in that are going to disrupt you. This is an emergency call, that sort of thing. So if you think about it as left ear is being negative, right ear is being positive, that is something that I have only just become aware of, the difference between the two. I've always thought of it, well, if I'm getting, whichever ear it's in, I'm getting some sort of information or some sort of download, even though I don't actually know exactly what it is at that moment in time. But if it's your left ear, it's negative. If it's your right ear, it's positive. How cool is that? How cool are your guides and angels at getting messages through to you? Also, other things that can be negative, your dreams. If you start dreaming of tornadoes and cataclysms, that's the right word, things going on like that in your dreams, something bad is coming. Another thing, Puppy actually bit me after I dropped the bottle. Puppy proper nipped me on my finger, on my left hand. So that was another sign, warning sign. You might see ravens, you might see all sorts of things going, spirit animals coming into you. It's for you to differentiate whether it's positive or whether it's negative. I also had a couple of deja vu moments where I stopped and went, I've done this before, this exact same thing, this exact same conversation, I've done it before. So all of these are pouring through. Then I'm getting negative events coming through, but it's actually spiritually propelled me. So if this is the darkness coming through, going, yeah, we're going to test you now, we're going to see what's going on. They've done a really poor job of it, because they have opened and expanded my spirituality even further by helping me to understand and realise what is really going on and the meanings behind the signs and the synchronicity. So thank you. They've lost, but they will. From experience, whenever you're getting there, whenever you're going up, something will come in and try and test you. But at the same time, if you're very aware, you've also got your guides and angels telling you that they are with you and they're supporting you through whatever difficult time that you're going through. So even when you're going through a bad time, even when things are happening, just take it as a test. Take it as it's happening for a reason, and emotionally, psychologically, physically deal with it in the most balanced way you can, and look at it as impartially as you can as well. Sometimes if you step back from the situation, lose the fear, lose the a feeling of trying to control events that are actually out of your control, then you can see things a lot clearer and the answers come through a lot clearer. So there are questions that I've been asking myself lately of things that I went through when I first went through the awakening that I still hadn't got answers to, thinking, what was that? Why was I seeing eyes? Why was I seeing owls everywhere? Those answers have now come through to me and I'm like, yay, this is brilliant. But there's been that growth. So it's about keeping an eye on your synchronicities and your signs and knowing that even when something's going wrong, you are still being sent signs and synchronicities to warn you to be prepared for things, that things are coming through. So the 4s and the 1s that I'd been seeing were a message from my guides and angels saying you're going through a difficult time, or you're about to go through a difficult time. We're still here, we're still supporting you. We may not be able to completely stop what is happening, but we're there for you. And you can, and you know, this is a heads up, this is what you're about to deal with. So I'm going to start, there's a lot of videos I want to do I have learned, my head wants to explode this week. I've learned so much and I need to break it down and go through different videos. But once you realise and once you become aware of it, it all becomes very, very obvious to you. And take it as again, I've always said, take it as a compliment. Take the darker things happening as a compliment to you, that you, as a pat on the back, that you're doing really well, that things are working out really well for you. Go with your intuition. It's about honing your own intuition. If you being able to see, also being able to use your intuition to see whether people are good or bad around you, whether they have ulterior motives around you as well. And as you grow these things, develop these things, you move up spiritually. So I think I'm going to go through the ear tones, the deja vu, synchronicities, dreams, that I think they all have to be broken down and put into separate videos, or it will just get too confusing. But hopefully, again, this will help. This gives you a wider awareness of things. To some of you, this might be an answer to something that you have been looking for. And I always say that things come to you in their own divine timing. They don't always come to us when we want them to. But if you ask your guides and angels, they will come through with the answer, as they've done with me. Is there anything else that I need to go through? Especially if you're just waking up and you're just starting to go through stuff like this, please don't be spiritually growing and everything's brilliant and then something happens and it scares you and you get to that crumbling point where you think, I can't cope with this any longer. This is when you get your inner strength out. This is when you rise above and you go, you know, on your ascension path, you ascend a little bit higher above things. This is where your timelines start to split, your parallels. Also, thank you. Once you become aware of certain synchronicities and once you become aware of certain things that are impending or about to happen, you can collapse that timeline. You can, by simply being aware of it, make it so that whatever was going to happen or whatever's coming into you either is diverted and will not happen, or you lessen the severity of it because you've suddenly become aware of it and you know what's happening. So you're more in control of yourself with that, and you can actually, you can either lessen the impact of it, or you can collapse it all together so it doesn't actually happen. So maybe if I hadn't become aware of my situation and recognised the signs and synchronicities that have been coming through of late, first of all, I wouldn't be able to get out and do this video. I wouldn't be able to help anybody else. And second of all, the circumstances that have happened around me may have been far, far worse because I wasn't aware and not being in control than they have been. Yeah? So, I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments below, as usual. Excuse me for my voice. I've had about 3 nights of no sleep with 2 or 3 nights now with Puppy throwing up, and she's absolutely, she's going to be fine. She's at the vet's this afternoon. She's probably going to cost a bit of money, but she's going to be absolutely fine. But again, I was sick dog. I was told this was coming through. So your spirituality and your consciousness and your higher consciousness work in the most amazing ways, and always be thankful for what's coming through, because it is teaching you and it's helping you grow. Even when you look at a situation and think it's bad or you think it's dark, there is always a lesson there for you to learn. So namaste, blessings and light. I will speak to you soon. Okay, bye.